Nomamvuma, provincial commissioners that are here, all senior top management, members of media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. We have just concluded a successful high-level introductory meeting of the new National Commissioner who has taken up his post from yesterday. The Police Ministry, along with the top management of the SEPs, have congratulated and welcomed General Masemola. We are all quite confident that the Commissioner is fit for purpose and capable to lead the men and women in blue. We must again thank the President of the country, His Excellency Cyril Ramaphosa, for the speed of which he appointed a commissioner and not allowing for vacuum to exist in this critical post. Indeed, the President of the Republic has set the agenda on what steps are to be taken to strengthen South African security structures. The appointment of the new National Commissioner is surely a big step towards building a police service that is trusted and policed with professionalism and confidence in the communities they serve. This Commissioner is no stranger to the SEPs, having joined the organization as a young recruit early in the years before 90s. General Masemola has, over the years, climbed up the ranks and has been a part of important milestones both of the police service and of the country. Well, his profile will be available. You will see the profile that tells the story rather than me telling the story. As the Police Ministry, we have hoped this Commissioner will hit the ground running in pursuit of the overall vision of the SEPs and take it to the new heights. And surely he will work and do that within the team. Just this morning, General Masemola led the SEPs in the Productive Portfolio Committee on Police meeting, where he was introduced as the new National Commissioner and was warmly welcomed by parliamentarians. MPs have expressed their newfound confidence in the appointment of the General Masemola, who boasts as an impressive policing and leadership record in the organization. Many of the parliamentarians have thrown their weight behind the Commissioner, whose record speaks for itself. Commissioner, you are not alone on this crusade. The support of your team will be paramount in achieving your goals and overall vision for the organization. Good luck as you pick up the baton of safeguarding our country and dealing decisively with crime and all its manifestations. Indeed, you will need the luck, but we all need the luck, but we need the action. Please be assured of our full support as the Police Ministry and the government as you start your journey towards achieving a more capable and capacitated South African police service. Communities play an important role in the fight against crime, and the prevention of crime remains everyone's responsibility. The President has emphasized this time and again that you can operate outside the communities. At the center of your work, Commissioner, do not neglect the urgent need to rebuild the trust relationship between communities and the police. This surely will be a legacy that will benefit not only the organization, the criminal justice system as a whole, but also benefit the country for the future generations, and the product is one with the safety of the communities. There is just one thing that I want to respond to it, not here. I had it by chance as I was coming from the event where the President was announcing the National Commissioner in one radio station, where somebody was giving the history of Masemola, saying, it won't happen, he won't work, because him and Khehla, they come from Umkhonto weSizwe, and they'll just bring the bush out of that and bring it here. Masemola has never been the member of Umkhonto weSizwe. He trained as a young constable and has grew within the ranks until where it is. Yes, Ucele was, but not to Masemola. So I just wanted to correct, because it became a big point to say there won't be a policing, but there will be things that they learn in the bush. I spend time in bush, he spent time in colleges. So that's that. Thank you very much, everybody. That will be our short introduction of the new Commissioner, General Masemola.
Thank you very much, Minister. Of course, it is a new month, a new day, and new possibilities. With that, Minister, please allow me to now go to the second part of our program, where we will participate in the conferring of ranks, and our members of the media would love to see this process. And after that, we will allow the General to have his first media engagement today.
All right. Okay, it's done from you. Yeah. Did you see the difference? Do you see the difference? That one has got 3 castles, and this one has got 4 castles. At any given time, in the South African police, there is only one that wears 4 castles at any given time. You can wear 2, wear 3, but 4 at any given time. It's only one. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Commissioner. You will sit here and decide.
Hearty congratulations to the new National Commissioner, General Fannie Masemola, and allow our members of the media to take their seats. Let me ask General Masemola to take us through his first media address, and after that we'll take some questions. Over to you, General.
Thank you very much, Program Director. Let me recognize the Minister of Police, General Khehla, the Deputy Minister of Police, Mr. Khehla Sitole, the National Head of DPCI, Lieutenant General Libya, the Deputy National Commissioners present here, Lieutenant General Vuma and Lieutenant General Njinga, the Deputy Head of DPCI, Lieutenant General Msikidi, all Divisional Commissioners present here today, Provincial Commissioners, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. A good afternoon to every one of you, and thanks to the Honorable Minister for today's session. Allow me to begin my address this afternoon by passing sincere appreciation to the President of the country, His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa, for entrusting me with this mammoth responsibility of leading the men and women in blue for the next 5 years. I also want to thank my colleagues in the JCPS cluster and all South Africans for the overwhelming messages of support and encouragement I've been receiving since the announcement by the President yesterday. Let me also take this opportunity on behalf of the men and women in blue to thank my predecessor, General Sitole, for his contribution, for his leadership and guidance during his tenure as the National Commissioner. We wish him well in his next chapter of life. Members of the media, mine this honor is to reiterate the assertion made by the President of the country, His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa, on my appointment yesterday as the National Commissioner and Accounting Officer of the South African Police Service. During this public announcement, the President emphasized the need, as well also the Minister today emphasized the need to reposition the South African Police Service as a community-centric service, which through its operation and strategic efforts will inspire not only public confidence, but also the confidence of the international world. I indeed assume this ultimate top position and leadership role during a challenging time where public trust and confidence in the police has gone low. Therefore, the immediate demand for my priority this afternoon is to build and strengthen the community police relations and subsequently change the prevailing negative public perception, as well as the need to work on both the morale and the integrity of our members who ultimately have a constitutional duty to serve and to protect our communities. We know what the community needs. The most basic and generic thing is that when they call, there must be somebody that answers the call. And thereafter, there must be somebody that responds to the call. It sounds as if every employee, we would like to make sure that every employee is productive in the organization. This heightens the need to recognize our communities and labor unions representing the members as a stakeholder in the policing value chain. Furthermore, there are also safety and security issues of national importance, which definitely are on my list of priorities, and this will include issues related to the safety of our police, especially the killing and attack of our police. We need our communities to work with us and assist us in identifying the perpetrators of these crimes which seeks to undermine the authority of the state. These criminals live in our communities and we know them. The second one will be the backlog on DNA, which has been to an extent reduced at this stage. I will focus on that specific DNA backlog. And of course, the Central Firearm Registry, which we know there is some problems around the system and licensing of firearms. The third one will be the pandemic, as was described by the President, the matter of gender-based violence and femicide, to ensure that our police at police stations are geared up to assist the call when our vulnerable groups arrive at the police station. And next on the line will be the filling of vacancies in the environment, such as crime intelligence and the DPCI, which also is a priority for me. Top of on the agenda will also be the advancement and refresher training of members, which will empower them in terms of their own safety. You would recall over the years, we had for the past 2 years not trained police, and the President and the Minister have alluded to the fact that this coming year, yes, we are going to train 12,000 new recruits. And another concern is the usage of clinical infrastructure. Another area of concern is the issue on the damage to critical infrastructure and the extortion that currently happens in the country, especially at construction site. And this is a priority to all of us, as it was directed by the President during the SONA. A dedicated capacity has been and is being reinforced currently to focus solely in this specific area, so that communities and the economy of the country cannot be disrupted as it is currently. We will also intensify our efforts to reduce the prevalence of cash in transit, which time and again raises ugly head. The President, during his address, reiterated that attention must be given to the re-establishment of community police forums, which we will make it a priority across the country. We will make sure that we rebuild the CPF so that at station level, CPFs are there to assist and cooperate with the police. The Minister of Police also do have, there is an engagement that we have called tomorrow in the Northwest, where we're going to engage with the community, so that's one of our first in business. It goes without saying, in order to effectively address any problem in this instance, the high levels of crime, especially violent crimes, we know that it is a concern to our community, and we'll focus on that by making sure that we enforce units like your crime prevention at station level. I previously mentioned about the 12,000 new recruits, of which for this financial year there will be 10,000 that will be arriving from today at this college and all other colleges in the country. We will, from this very recruits that have come in today, make sure that we reinforce public order police so that we have got our line of defense increased. We also would like to thank the SNDF for availing their infrastructure for the training of our recruits. We see the latest recruitment as a groundbreaking because of the first time in the history of SAPS that we have to double the numbers. And I want to assure you that the nation, that not only have we, the recruits, been subjected to a rigorous selection and screening process, but the training and development program has also been designed to ensure that the recruits undergo a category appropriate SACET accredited training. On completion in December, they will, of course, be sent to all priority areas, especially your frontline areas, which is your stations. And of course, there are other areas that we will prioritize, especially your specialized units, as I said, those units that we will establish that will deal with the critical infrastructure damage. The country is at a point where police and other law enforcement agencies find themselves policing violent service delivery day in and day out, and we are going to make sure that those men and women in blue are capacitated to be able to deal with the specific threats that face the community, together with our other departmental role players, those that act as security multipliers. We also want to plead with the community to say they should continuously work with the police, as we will commit to make sure that we improve the morale of the police, and we also expect that the community bring their part by making sure that they do not regard police as their enemy. With my appointment, according to the start of 2022-2023 financial year, the SAPS has an opportunity to look at effective ways to enhance the organization's crime prevention and combating strategy, and the investigative and also the detective capacity. This will include us in embracing the technology and gravitating towards the fully digital 4IR. Just yesterday, to allude to some of our successes, the Hawks have busted yet another alleged online scam syndicate and arrested 7 suspects in Johannesburg. This shows the commitment of our forces on a continuous basis. In wrapping up, let me once again reiterate my commitment to ensuring the safety and security of the residents and visitors, as well as investors in our country, South Africa. I'm looking forward to strengthening the relations with all sectors of society, including international stakeholders. Let me also remind members of SAPS and our partner in law enforcement to continue to execute their mandate within the confines of the law and adhere to the Matopile principles, and remember that whatever we do, it should be to the benefit of our communities. I thank you.
Thank you very much, General, for that very thorough first address to the nation and address the media. We now go to the second last part of our program, which is the question and answer from members of the media. You know the drill. Please identify yourself as well as the media house that you represent, and of course your question. And we'll take the first batch of 3 questions. I don't see any hands. I see 1 hand. Okay. ENCA, go ahead.
Thanks so much. My name is Robert from ENCA. Question is both for the Minister and the new National Commissioner. Minister, I'm sure you've seen the criticism around the appointment process, specifically from the Democratic Alliance, saying that it should have been more transparent, also questioning why you were on the panel, and then further inferring that the General's appointment would be a deployment somehow endorsed by the political officers. What's your response to this criticism?
Is there another question?
I have one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. National Commissioner, you've come into this position as your predecessor left it with a lot of perceptions that the police commissioner, the police were involved in factions of the ANC. How are you going to approach the perception around factions of the ANC being involved in the police as you take up this new role? And how are you going to approach corruption within the police force? Thank you.
Thank you, ENCA. Can we take that, those 2 questions, Minister and General?
Khehla Masemola.
Okay, thanks. Thanks very much. My function is described in the Constitution of the country, and the Police Act is very, very clear what is expected of me. And out of those functions, there is none that talks to politics or factions. So my job is cut straightforward by Section 205, which is to prevent, combat, and investigate crime. The second one is to maintain public order. The other one is to protect the inhabitants of the Republic in their property, and also to uphold and enforce the law. That's exactly what me and the men and women in blue will focus our attention. I'm sure the minister, as a politician, he'll focus on, you'll know better about the factions. But me, I'll just do exactly what I expected to do. With regard to corruption, where corruption is happening, surely we will take steps. The law is very clear. We'll take the necessary steps in terms of investigation and doing the necessary required by law. Thanks.
I'll use only the name Kevin and don't add that surname that you once given. I don't appoint the commissioner, Kevin. It's no one who appoints the commissioner. So it's just an unfair question to ask from me the process and all that, because I don't define process, because I have no authority. I have no powers conferred on me to appoint. That is very clear when you go to 207. But again, you say, I don't know if you did use the word a lot of people. No, not a lot of people, by the way. Especially, I was looking at the experts, not the politicians, who agree that is the best appointment. They say it might not be adequate, the method, but there has been a movement that the president appointed some advisory committee to deal with the matter. But thirdly, on that one, I think whoever emphasizes the point that is Khehla and the influence of Khehla undermines the big brains. Gavin, there were big brains in that committee, big brains. It was chaired by the Professor Mufumadi, who would have the history of this organization. And there was DG presidency, or there was DG treasury, there was DG state security, there was Minister of Basic Education, there was a former commissioner, George Fivers, in the and I don't know whether it's deliberate, because everybody jumps that name, but I've been listening. Whether it's deliberate or they didn't know, there was George Fivers, who played a very, and in a corner there was Minister of Police. So if you say those people really could not think and sway them all, you are really undermining those people. You better really look at it. So that was a process. And more than that, President would be advised and still apply his mind. But we are fine. For ours now is to work and see to it that we support the present commissioner together with the team from the ministry. We are really committing our support going forward. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Minister. We do have a question of a journalist who's not present here with us, but it's sent through a question. It's Mervyn Adams, a freelancer, who's asking the General, are the police plans still in place to have paralegals placed at every station in an attempt to restore confidence between community and police? And the second question, General, is when would we start seeing police officers wearing body cameras?
All right, thanks. With regard to plans at police stations, as I mentioned, we will be getting into, myself and the management team, we will be finalizing our plans for operational plans to start implementing for this current financial year. And yes, we will cascade that up to station level. And secondly, on body-worn cameras, we have planned to have that. We will definitely engage the relevant authorities, which is CETA. Definitely we are geared up that this financial year that should materialize. Thanks.
Thank you very much, General. Let me see if there's any other questions before we bring this session to a close, before I take into anyone else. Okay. He has the last right.
Thank you so much. It's for the National Commissioner once again. Commissioner, we all assume you are aware that many view this position you're in as somewhat of a poison challenge. That's only because of the inability or the record of commissioners not finishing their term of office after being embroiled in one scandal or another. And I'm sure you're well aware of the expectation which is now on you to restore the credibility, integrity to the office of the National Commissioner. What's your comment regarding that expectation and the view of that role as a poison chalice? And I'd just like to get, what would you say is your style going to be in your message to the other senior police officers who are now under your command and to the public at large about what they can expect from your style of running that office?
Thanks. My style will be to establish a management team that will be able to lead the SAPS and take it forward and make sure that we ensure that we deliver the service that is required by the community. We will make sure that myself and the team, we preoccupy ourselves with leading the subs and making sure that we lead the men and women in blue. And that's what we will strive for and make sure that we continuously answer to the public. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, General. Before I do wrap this up, I just want to remind members of the media about something that you alluded to in your opening address, General, about you going to Mahikeng. So the Minister of Police, the Ministry of Police, alongside the SAPS management are going to be in Mahikeng to host an Imbizo. This obviously follows the presidential Imbizo that took place last month, and they will be engaging further the community there, finding out what solutions can be brought to the fore to address the community and policing concerns. With that, I'd like to thank all the generals present, the Deputy Minister, as well as all senior members of the SAPS who have blessed us with their presence today. And of course, a hearty congratulations to you, General. With that, I bring this session to a close. Thank you.
Thank you much.
Can we just gather for a photo shoot, please, General, and the Minister. We'll do that outside.